Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/ProRevenge. In today's episode, millions lost over a single flight. A friend charged a tow fee because he wouldn't trust my automotive knowledge. Extra caramel. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Millions lost over a single flight. I was doing some HR training at work today, and the HR rep told a story which was given as an example of one of the consequences of poor customer service. When my coworker was going to be married, the wedding was out of state so as to be closer to his and the bride's families. One of his friends who was going to be in attendance had to fly coast to coast across the US in order to attend. The day of the wedding, his flight was canceled, and the airline refused to rebook him a flight in time, and on top of that were not at all kind or hospitable. As a result, he missed his good friend's wedding, and this pissed him off. What the airline didn't know was that this particular person worked as a travel agent. His job was to book commercial flights for large groups. This airline was one of the bigger international airlines based in the US, and someone he would normally consider when booking flights. However, after this airline refused to rebook his canceled flight and caused him to miss his best friend's wedding, he refused to even consider them as an option for his clients. He was so pissed off by the airline's customer service that he even kept track of how many times he could have booked a flight with them, but instead chose another, perhaps even more expensive option. Over the next couple of years, he cost the airline over $2 million in lost revenue because they were rude to him and refused to rebook his flight, causing him to miss his friend's wedding. Sounds like a nice wholesome story made up for the training session. Could have been, but I don't think it was implausible, and the HR guy seemed pretty cool, so I took it at face value. Maybe, but as someone who used to work in a commission-based industry with very similar structure to a travel agent, I would absolutely take my personal experience with providers into account when recommending them to clients. Anytime I was personally using their services, I was evaluating. It's all part of my giving clients good service. But if the airline doesn't know it, how will they be aware of the revenge? Exactly. The airline needs to be told. I imagine there could be good reasons, but it's hard to picture why someone would fly out the day of the wedding coast to coast. I mean, they're a travel agent. They should be aware of this shit. It's not like had to perform surgery at 10 a.m. I find it odd a travel agent would leave the same day he has to be there knowing all the shit that can go wrong. A friend charged a tow fee because he wouldn't trust my automotive knowledge. Back in the early 2000s, my friend and I were at a bowling alley. As we went out to leave, he couldn't get his car started. I asked if he wanted me to look at it since I have been working on cars since I was 14, and he said no, that he knows as much if not more about cars than I do. So the tow truck arrived. They asked me to steer as they pushed it out of the parking spot. I got in, put it in park, started the vehicle, backed it out, and asked the tow truck driver if he wanted me to drive it onto his flatbed or if he wanted to pull it up. Everyone, including the tow truck driver, burst out in laughter. My friend was livid. Why didn't you tell me that was the problem? I said you told me you were more experienced than me and didn't need my help. From then on, he never doubted my automotive knowledge. It took me 2 reads to figure out what even happened. I felt dumb, but not nearly as dumb as your friend must have. Yup, can't start it from drive. Understood. My husband came home once without our car. I asked where it was and walked, sick and in 30-degree weather, to the car. Got to the car. He asks me, "What do you think you can do that I can't?" Answer, "I can see that it's out of gas." I was working at a car dealership as a porter. We closed at 8:30 a.m. Dude in a Porsche 911 screams in the parking lot. Gets out of his car, takes 2 steps, turns around and throws his hands up in frustration. He locked his keys in the car. Comes in and asks for a Slim Jim. One of the other porters tells him we can't lend those out by law. I said no, let him use it and mess up his car. He was at it for 40 minutes, 10 minutes after closing, before I went out and said I needed the Slim Jim back. He said he needed to get back in his car. So I obliged him by reaching into the open moonroof and handing his keys to him. Extra caramel. I was at a $dollar coffee shop, and yesterday was one I will forever be grateful to my manager for. A customer came through ordering a blended beverage, said beverage was modified to the point of being not even remotely what the original drink was. Can I also prefer this by saying the drink was ordered at drive with a child screaming into the headphones the whole time and customer did nothing to calm child, just spoke louder. So when customer drives up, the drink with multiple modifications was missing one. It was a topping that was easily added on top, but customer wanted the whole drink remade. Why, I asked, as we had a line and I had more drinks to get to. The answer was it didn't have enough caramel drizzle. Now the drink doesn't come with caramel drizzle. It was ordered with extra caramel, and I did put a ton on the top as well as put caramel around the cup, which is already extra. I was told they wanted extra, so I coated the inside of the new cup. The caramel was so thick you couldn't see the drink. I also added a 1/4 to the bottom just in case, and added extra of the other topping requested and gave 1/2 container of it on the side per my manager's instructions. Now this was my third to final drink I made cause it was my day off and I came in to help, and the time I agreed to stay it was past, and the second time I agreed to stay it was also past. I was doing one last task of wiping down the cafe and clocking out. In comes customer. Customer is so angry, cause customer said they didn't deserve to have an employee get mad and fill their cup with 1/2 syrup. Manager tells them, well, what do you want? You got extra caramel, it wasn't enough, and you get extra and it was too much. You're gonna have to explain what you were wanting. Love my manager. I hope you were well paid for the extra time you spent at work and getting abused by some jerk who was just being a jerk. You mean well paid for the extra time. LOL. I really would like to see more businesses start firing customers that pull these kinds of stunts. Here's the menu. No substitutions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Too many people grew up and were told the customer is always right, which is fine when it's small things and you want to continue business with them. 100% businesses need to stop catering to the lunatics. Small adjustments are fine, but if you're ordering off menu and it's never the same, that's on you and you can't expect perfection. Managers should tell them they refuse service to that customer at this location permanently. This is a case of be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.